So let's get started. And tonight, just before I actually share my screen, this is as simple as this training is, it is probably the most important training of all because it is the root foundation of your organization. I cannot stress this enough. Every market, and we've said that before in previous years as we were training doing these segments over the years. But as I was saying, the attitude training is really the foundation of building a solid organization that will last for the long term. When you set these protocol and you create an awareness around certain things that happens in network marketing, you will find that it will serve you well, even though it may seem very simplistic. Over time, especially if it's duplicated, it will have an impact. We're going to start with this training today. And the first thing I want to talk about is really your attitude when it comes. I know it may seem aggressive, but understand the meaning of this, what is your attitude towards network marketing? What is your attitude towards your success in this kind of business? What is your attitude when it comes to perseverance? Excuse my French. To be consistent and congruent in doing the activities, even though it may become monotone and boring. Boring is actually important because when you duplicate a process that is repeated, it may be boring when you do them, but if it's duplicated within your organization, that's where the fortune is made. So it's important that as you are building this business, that you have a strong attitude. And what I mean by a strong attitude, you want to be bold, but you don't want to be overwhelming to the prospect and scaring the prospect away because of your boldness around the opportunity. But what I mean by this is when people come across with some objections, some negative, sometimes they may ghost you out. They may, you know what I mean? They may make you feel doubtful of this industry because of their behaviors. And often it's interesting because as Fraser was talking today, about folks that are not responding to a tool, and often we second guess the tool, we second guess the opportunity because people are not responding in a way that we would like them to respond. But the reality is the tool is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, is to filter the folks that are coming in. And what is your attitude towards these situations as a whole? And this is what I mean by this slide. Is it's always to have a strong belief, because your belief will have a strong reflection on others when you talk about your opportunity, when you talk about your product, when you talk about the industry. Back to you, Tammy.
And your attitude is a choice. I mean, every single morning when we wake up in the morning, think about the thoughts that are going through your head. Are they serving you? Are they moving you towards your goal? Are they putting you into action? So that's one of the things that I do every single morning. I want to make sure that I set my mindset and my attitude right before my feet hit the ground. Because if you start off with a negative energy on whatever happened yesterday, or maybe you just didn't sleep well, and it can be a snowball effect on how it's going to affect your attitude, on how you show up in that day, and the results that you're going to get at the end of the day. So always think about that. Imagine when you wake up in the morning. Obviously, gratitude is such a big thing, and however way you do gratitude, and just close your eyes and imagine those two doors. Are you going to go through the door of more abundance, feel great, great energy, meeting awesome people, slamming your social media today, getting some new contacts, new results? Or are you going to focus on that door because you were stuck yesterday? And that's the real message here, is what you focus on always expands, no matter what. Whatever you put energy to, you will get more of it. So if this is hitting home for you at all, then this is something that you really need to work on, and think about that image first thing in the morning. Your feet don't touch the ground until you know how your day is going to show up.
This is something I really appreciate from Robert, is the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for jobs. So no wonder when you go out there and you start prospecting and you start sharing the opportunity and you get so many people that are resistant, it is because they are not thinking like rich people. They are thinking like consumers. I have a job, I put my time, I get paid, and then I want to go home and watch my Netflix or Prime or whatever else is out there. So the fact here is that this is difference, is the mindset, how people who have money thinks, and the folks that they don't necessarily have money. It's a way of thinking. You know, belief in network marketing and in the profession itself is absolutely critical to have success. And we're going to suggest some books at the end as we finish this session, this training segment. And I highly recommend you pick a few of them. And they're all very good books. I recommend to read every one of them. I'm going to recommend. In fact, these are some of the foundation books that we've read over the years, especially in the early years as we started in this business. So it's important is, what is your attitude towards a network marketing arena? And if your attitude is not strong, you need to educate yourself in the process, because this industry will actually set people free. And I don't mean just money. I mean mindset, the way you're thinking. You will grow, you will evolve, you become a different person. This is what network marketing has done for me. I remember I was a very insecure person in the past. It's still there, but it's under discipline, because I know better, because I've read and I've applied and I've read again and I've applied. And this went through several cycles. And eventually you become kind of numb to the negativity and the folks that they tend to hide behind a wall when it comes to being an entrepreneur. They fear the fear of failure. And when you start realizing that failure is only a step closer to success, unless you stop trying, then failure becomes a non-issue, because you only fail if you stop trying. So the thing is, having your right attitude in this business is absolutely critical. And and there's so many books, documentation available to help you with that.
And I think what's really, really important is network marketing is about service. And if people join our profession and all they're in for is to make the money, they're going to be in and out pretty quick, or you're going to see them jumping from deal to deal to deal to deal to deal. But when you come from the heart and you genuinely care about people, then those are the ones that are going to really build a massive organization, a team that's going to be so solid that nothing can break them. And you'll know that, because you'll have people that will come in and they'll go out. They'll come in and go out. Always say, let it go. And just focus on the ones that are there that genuinely care about serving people. And, you know, the moment you sign somebody up in the business, I always say you're the first person, you're the most important person when you sign up in this business, because you're new, you're alone. Obviously, you have the person who brought you in, you don't know anybody, and it's about you. But the moment you sign your first person, it's no longer about you. It's about the people that you serve. You should always be looking down to see who you can serve and help them get over some hurdles that they might have in getting started with their business. Help them set some initial goals. Help them work on their strategy plan. So these are the things that are really, really important. And when you build that bond, it's like a family. We're a family. Our book is about breaking the cycle of poverty. It's about service. It's about helping people get out of situations that they're stuck in. But of course, they have to truly want to get out of that situation. So work from your heart, also your mind, but work from your heart. And you'll build a very, very strong foundation, which is critical in our profession.
And the one thing, Tammy, I think it's important to mention that you want to work with your heart, but you want to also have a balance with your mind, because sometimes people's belief will keep them where they are. And you can't put yourself in a guilt trip if someone is not willing to do the steps that you are going to be teaching, right? People have to make the decision to cross over, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind as we are, as you are evolving and building your business and supporting and mentoring people.
Yeah, you can't drag anybody across the finish line. Yeah, it has to be their finish line, but you're there to support them. Absolutely.
Yeah. The next step is the attitude of righteousness. And this, it's like any business, right? Network marketing, it's such a beautiful environment of purity, but in the same time, like people can do good things and bad things with anything, right? Good side and a bad side to everything we do in life, right? So integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is looking, right? We know that things happens. We know things happen. Some of you went through some situations. I know we have been to many situations over the years. So, but never lose sight of righteousness, doing the right thing, even though it might be tempting to cut the corner and to maybe kind of speed up to a level to increase your check this month. But there might be a huge price to do things out of integrity. And it's not just about doing things in integrity and out of integrity, but it's also as simple as if you tell someone you're going to do something. For example, you're doing through the process of, let's say, prospecting. Soon we're going to be starting these trainings, which I hope that all of you will be there with your entire team, because these are what we call the money-making activities, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. But as you are going through these stages, if you tell someone you're going to be calling tomorrow at a certain time, you call at that time. Right? Excuses are wonderful, but it doesn't change the results. You still miss the appointment. So even if you know you're not going to be there or something is happening, send a text, make the phone call, make a connection at the time you say you would be reaching out to this person. This is really, really important, because a lot of time people will actually start measuring you as a leader and even your integrity based on the things you say you will do. And if you always miss the target, it will eventually impact your credibility as a leader. And that will come in as a price eventually as you start building your business with your organization. Critical. Make sure you stay the course, but you follow through on the things you're going to do, or you said that you're going to do.
Teamwork and respect, very, very important. Yeah, and that, whether it's the company, the upline, the downline, the crossline, the sideline, we are one family. We have a mission and a purpose on taking our Max products into every single household that there is out there. So I truly believe in supporting and helping, regardless whether people are even in our organization. And our goal is to help people. So when you have that attitude and that heart centered mindset and work ethic, then it's going to be an easy job. So when you make it about people, it's easy. When you make it about yourself, it's never easy. Never easy. So we always have that one dream, one vision, one team, one mission, and that is to go to the top together. And I always say, don't leave people behind, but they have to make the choice whether they want to be left behind. And some people do, and it's okay if they catch up later, because not everybody's willing to do the work today. Some people, they have important things that they have in their lives, and they can always come back and jump in. But one thing that I've learned over the years, it is hard to get back on when you get on and you're off. And then you get on and then you're off, and on and off and on and off. It's so hard to take off into momentum when you carry that. You're better off doing a slower pace, but being consistent. If you say you're going to work 4 days a week, 3 hours a day, whatever it is, you're consistent doing that. And that's what's important. So teamwork, respect, just serve, and you'll see that you'll grow a huge organization over time.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because over the years, it's really interesting, but you can actually see based on the leader that is leading this team, the behavior of the rest of the team. And it's very important that respect is always maintained. And I cannot stress this enough, because it will support you and elevate you over time, or it can actually work against you, especially the bad talking and you know what I'm talking about, right? It's always very, very critical to stay on a positive note and always look up and always edify, even though you may not be necessarily in agreement with that person. Moving on to this one is the right attitude in reference to seeking guidance from your mentor, from your sponsor. This is really important. You know, I find in this business, the Lone Rangers, right? They just go and on their own. Everything is on their own. And you will find that they won't have that environment of team support and gratitude and synergy that occurs in an area where the teams are all working together. See, and this is really important. You work together, you team together, you present together. You're not all in the same team, but you work as one, and that is absolutely critical. So the fact here is, as a mentor, the role is really to help you improve, not do the work for you, right? We want to help you succeed. We want to guide you to proper trainings, but you got to show up for class. And it's important to also seek leadership. You know, there's some very powerful leaders in your organization. Maybe they just have a silent voice, but they have the skills. It's there. It's just dormant, right? And we want to elevate that. We want to recognize that through motivation and inspiration. So that's where the whole cycle of having the right attitude towards mentorship. And it's important that when you seek mentorship, it's not, what have you done for me lately? You're my upline. That doesn't work well. That doesn't resonate well. But the fact is, showing gratitude and showing appreciation. You'll find that people will do 10 times as much for you when you do that. So it's, again, just food for thought. So very, very important is the right attitude regarding mentoring. Because remember that you are also a mentor to the people you bring on board to your business.
Absolutely. Adjust versus react. This is a good one. So your attitude is your key to success. We all face challenges, and how we handle them is the key. I'm sure that some of you are on social media and just having a heck of a time, but I'm telling you, we all get it. And there's this 90-day challenge that's going on right now. And some of the people in the group have more experience than others on social media. We're always challenged every single day to do different things that are out of our comfort zone. So it's a matter of adjusting versus reacting on not knowing how to do it. Is to take that step forward. Just give it a shot, give it a try. Don't be afraid to ask for, more experienced people some questions. YouTube, that's our best friend when you have challenges to learn something. Just go to YouTube. You're going to learn a ton of stuff, but it's not to react. And I think that's got to be the biggest thing for anybody in any business. If you want to succeed in business and in life, it's how you show up that will determine the results that you're going to get, your end result. So show up. I always adjust, because nothing's ever the same. Nothing ever stays the same. The last 3 years has been such a huge shift for everybody, for every company. And we've all experienced it ourselves, and we've all seen it happen out there in the world. So these are great examples for us to learn from. Is not to freak out, is to sit back and evaluate and find ways to be better, to better handle situations so that you can be better at the end of the day. Yeah.
If there's one example for this, is 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, moving on to 2024. Adjust versus react. There's a lot to freak out about, right? There's things that happens. So you can react or you can adjust. And I'm telling you, there's a lot to react about. but when we team up and work together to adjust, that's when things come up. So the thing is, that's why, Tammy, I needed to spend a bit of time on that, because it's such an important aspect, right? And the fact here is that life at any time can be very difficult. It could be very easy, right? But a good or bad, there's seasons of life, right? And the fact is, how you choose to react to it or adjust to it, these are just seasons. That's all it is. And I assure you, in fact, I promise you, we're going to be way back up at the top, like really probably 100 times bigger than what we were. Because in my mind, I believe so. But not just I believe so, the traces are there. The signs are there. So the fact here is you have to always be in a position to understand that there's bad weather, and sometimes it won't last just a weekend. It may last a year. But the fact is, it's your attitude. When there's good leadership, it doesn't matter how bad the weather gets. You get through it if there's good leadership. And that's the message here. That's why the attitude training is so critical and so important. Back to you, Tammy.
And to keep learning and always reevaluating your business. I like to sit down and do this on a regular basis. I get really serious about it at the end of the year. And, every 3 months, sit down and evaluate what's going on in your business so that you know where you need to improve, you know what needs to be done, and you know who needs to have some extra support. You can see all of this as you look into your virtual office. And as you see the team grows, you know where you spend your efforts. But reading is critical, and scheduling. You've got the scheduling on there as well. So some of the books, I know, Chris, you changed a few of the books, but we've read a lot of books from the beginning, and we've spent years reading. I mean, we have so many books. Sometimes, I don't know if you've ever done that, where you just literally open the book, not at the first page. And do you ever notice that when you opened that book and to whatever page or chapter that was, it was the exact message you needed that day? Does it ever happen to you? It happens to me often. So pick up a book. Sometimes I get that we're super busy. Just do something like that if that's what it takes. Or grab a book if you want to read it all the way through. You can do that, but make sure you always have books around you so you can grab this. And what's really great is content. One of the things that everybody's searching for, well, I don't know what to post, so I'm not posting anything. What a great way to get lots of awesome content. And we're learning so much on different apps that are available, that you could ask questions with the AI, and you can get answers. So you can give people 4 tips. Well, 7 habits of highly effective people. You could give people a couple of habits that they can do on a daily basis to improve where they are in their life, like just things like that. So you got some really great books there as well. And of course, your scheduling. This has got to be key. I believe that the reason people are not where they want to be in their businesses is because they don't have a plan in front of them. They don't
totally
have
agree.
a plan. They're not putting what you need to avoid, what do you need to eliminate, what do you need to delegate, all this stuff, so you can focus on the tasks at hand, the income producing activities at hand, so you can accomplish your goal. And guess what? In that plan, there's always helping other people get to another level. So you really need to focus on doing stuff like this.
Yes. And at the beginning, I was talking about the importance of these books. Start with your why. Critical. Simon Sinek. How to Win and Influence People. Dale Carnegie. This is, if you want to build your business, you want to master this. The GoPro philosophy of how to build your business, a lot of the things that we're teaching when it comes to prospecting, inviting, presenting, third-party credibility, following up, following through. It's all coming from here. And here, Chris and Tammy, Freedom Formula. We have the strategy, how we expand around the world, the challenges, the things we've been through, how we overcome it. The 7 habits of highly effective people. Here's one of the habits I should really recommend for you to really master is seek to understand, then be understood. If our damn governments would just read that damn book, there wouldn't be any wars. Seek to understand first, then be understood. It's amazing how the world just becomes so clear when you understand their point of view and you put yourself in someone else's shoes. So what happens is when you present, if you have that philosophy to understand what they're telling you before you respond to an objections or a comment, you'd be amazed on his response or her response with the fact that they feel you understand where they come from, right? Think and Grow Rich. You know, the 10X rule. I just bought this book yesterday and I'm reading it. This is brilliant, right? So we could go on and on here. So the fact here is these are important books. And I'm sure there's thousands of others you can think about. And you have to, on a daily basis, folks, you got to read something. You got to keep evolving. You got to keep learning. You got to keep reevaluating your business. Otherwise, you're not going to move an inch in 10 years. So you need to evolve. So the point is, take action now, not later, not tomorrow, not next week, not once my vacations are done. No, none of that. This is all, no, this is not the rich mindset. And I'm not saying you have to burn yourself in at work. This is not what I'm saying, because you also need some time to relax. You need some time to meditate and to empty that cup that's full, to make some space for new knowledge and new stuff, right? I talked about that this afternoon, but the point is take action now. The information you're getting from our calls or from the sessions that we do tomorrow during the week, from Monday to Friday on the Crown Diamond Global Impact or the Accelerator, for those of you that are part of it, take action now. Don't wait. Do it now. This is absolutely critical. Someone wants information. No, I'll call them tomorrow. No, call them now. Unless it's too late. You can use your common sense on all that. It is a huge difference. In fact, on the 10X, he talks about that. About people that are always putting off things to tomorrow. And very often, none of these things ever get done. So very important is to take action now attitude. Brilliant.
Unless it's in your schedule and you are actually checking it off because you are following up with them the next day. Yeah. So attitude of gratitude, that's got to be the biggest thing that has got us through in so many situations in our life, is the fact that we are grateful no matter what gets thrown our way. As leaders, we build an international organization. There's always things that are throwing at us. And it's how we handle everything that is important, and just being grateful that we actually have an organization that expands around the globe. And we just wanted to say how much we really appreciate your partnership and your love and your support. And we love you guys. And that's why we keep doing what we're doing.
Okay, everybody, have yourself a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.
Happy end of the month.